Welcome back, guys. We're on week 6 now, so we're halfway through the 12-week program. So that's an incredible achievement already. So I just want to say congratulations for making it this far, for being disciplined enough to sit through all these videos, consume all this content, and to start development on your game. By this point, if you've achieved a packaged playable prototype, then double congratulations. This is what game development is all about. It's you've got a game now, and it might not be as fully fledged as it's going to be, and that you've planned it to be. Like, it's obviously going to keep growing, but at this point, like, you're a game developer because you've created a game. You've got something that people can play. It's a standalone package, and you can send that to your friends. You can put that on the TV. You can plug it into your laptop and connect it to the TV via HDMI. You could upload it to Steam even, or to Itch or a free platform, and that's it. So I just want to take a moment to really acknowledge that. It's like, this is what game development is. It's just, you're making games, and once you've got that packaged game there, it's like, that's it, man. It's like, the process is just the same from here on. We've learned how to set up the project, we've learned how to package the game, and now it's just a matter of just adding more content. It's like you've already gone through the loop now, you know what I mean? And I spoke earlier in one of the previous weeks about how game development is essentially just about iteration. It's just iterating and iterating and iterating. And you've done your first iteration now. So this is your first experience of a game development cycle, or maybe you've done this plenty of times before, but this is the essence of what game development is. So shout out to you. Great work. So today what we're going to do is, now that you've got your playable prototype, we're going to go through some plans for starting development on the full game. It's going to be a very short week again, because the focus now is not about learning more information. It's about making use of what we've already learned, and about putting our head to the grindstone and working, basically. And these slides can be a guide, but I think where the support is going to be most helpful from here on, and something I just want to emphasize, is the private Discord server. So this is a great opportunity from here on to start sharing more of your work, because you're actively developing now. Sharing your work and getting not necessarily suggestions or criticism, but positive reinforcement. People picking out things that they like about your project, people encouraging you, and also you picking out things that you like about other people's projects and encouraging them. I've said this many times, and I'm going to say it again, is that we succeed together. And courses like this, it's not about standing out, trying to be better than everybody else, because that's sort of a losing game. It's like a zero-sum game. It's like this competitive sort of attitude of like, well, I need to win because only one person can win and everybody else fails. That's not really how this works. The way that we all succeed as game developers is by providing feedback for each other, and we all succeed together. So it's that analogy of growing the pie. Like, if you've got a pie like this, rather than trying to get just a bigger cut of the pie, if you can grow the pie, it's like more success for everybody, and everybody benefits from it. So providing feedback for each other and support for each other, and building professional relationships with people and personal relationships with people as well, like just friendships and things like that. That's how you get the support that you need later on. Like, if you have a problem that you can't fix, and you know a person who might be able to do it, and you can share plugins and things like that. All that sort of communication and sharing and back and forth is really what makes game development manageable. So just this picture on the right here, this is the Tower of Babel, I'm pretty sure, which I think I haven't actually read the Bible, but I think it collapsed or something because it was just too fragmented. But anyway, what I like about this picture is just sort of the visualization of like layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and just building up and up and up and up. And I thought that was just a nice visualization of where the point that we're at now. So we've got our playable prototype, we've got the foundation. Now basically what we're doing is we're doing these more narrow iterations, these circles that are stacking on top of this, and we're adding layer after layer after layer after layer of depth. Now that we've got the playable prototype, now that that's done, if you've done that correctly, you've already captured the essence of the game. You've captured either the atmosphere, the feeling, the emotion. Like, that's the foundation of the game. And so everything from here on is sort of just like polishing that essence, adding more content, fleshing it out, and then just building it up. And so that's what we're going to do this week, is we're going to plan that out. So here's the recap. So we finished the playable prototype last week, and now we can do some things. We can find out what's fun about it. We can find out what's broken, because there's going to be bugs. There's going to be other things. We can get new ideas from watching people play. We can get feedback from them or not get feedback from them, or form our own conclusions about what we're learning from watching them play. And we can get feedback from the server if we want it. And it's also a sanity check now that we've got that there. So we've hit the save point, which is like the little floppy disk just here. We've packaged the game. It's like hitting the save button. And so in the coming weeks, we're going to build up from this solid foundation. So here we've got this golden Game Boy. So we looked at the sketch of the Game Boy in the previous week. Now we're going to be talking about a final game deadline. So basically what we're doing now is we're taking that sketch and turning it into a golden Game Boy. We're going to manufacture this thing and try to polish it up a little bit. So here's the goal. This isn't to be done by this week. This is a goal that we're setting for the end of week 9. So that's 4 weeks from now. We want to try and finish our final version of the game. And by final version of the game, I mean like ready to publish to Steam. So obviously, depending on your timeline, like if you want to spend more time on your project, like if you want to extend it out over months, you're obviously welcome to do that. But for the sake of this 12-week course, and if this is your first time making a game, I think 12 weeks is probably a good amount of time. We're going to spend 4 weeks right now just developing the content of this game. We're not going to do any more than that, because there is still some wrap up to do at the end of week 9. We've still got to have week 10, week 11 and week 12, so maybe 3 more weeks I think, where we're going to do some publishing and things like that. There's quite a lot to do after you finish the main content of the game, because I've literally listed it right here. So week 10, bug fixing. Like for example, at least a week of bug fixing, at least. Like if we spend 4 weeks on a game, I think at least a week of bug fixing is going to be required after that. And then so week 11, we're going to be doing the Steam page setup. I'm going to walk you through how to set up your sales page, how to upload your game to Steam, and just manage all the bits and pieces that go into that. That's a big it's a big project just on its own, so we've got a whole week just for that. And then week 12, we've got an extra shit for a week for when shit just inevitably goes wrong. And that'll probably involve a bit of bug fixing. It'll probably involve some delays from the approval process of the Steam page. And just for extra things as well. So what we're also going to do is try to produce another packageable build by the end of next week. So just to reiterate, full game complete in 4 weeks to upload to Steam, and halfway through that, at the 2.2 week mark, that'll be at the end of next week, we want to have another packageable build just like we did with the playable prototype. So the reason that we do that is just as a sanity check, so that we can troubleshoot any problems that might come up with the packaging process, and just make sure our project is nice and healthy, so that then we can iterate again in the next 2 weeks and do the final build. So put that on like your calendar or something. Maybe this is a good opportunity to rework your minimum viable product and aim for 4 weeks time. That's when we're going to try and finish this game. So here's the check-in for this week. Review the checklist of typical game features. So if you click this link, that'll take you back to like week 2, where we had that giant list of like levels, blueprints, character art, main menus, volume options, controls, tutorials, all of the things that go into making a game. And just make sure that all of those things are on your minimum viable product. So you don't want to have anything that's missed out, because now we're sort of getting to crunch time. You want to make sure that you're not going to overshoot the deadline, basically. So you want to be aware of all the things that still need to be done, and then allocate time to doing them. And like I said, if you want to spend more time on this as well, like, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, we're gonna do this in 4 weeks as according to the course. So I just said that, so make sure that you include the intro movies, the controls, the tutorials, the graphics, controller support if you want it. All this is optional. Remember, we covered that in week 2. There's no right or wrong way to do a game. Completely up to you, and it's also your call, like what experience you want the player to have, and so you focus your time on the things that are important. Do your best to ensure that it's a reasonable workload so that you don't burn yourself out. Be prepared for it to take longer than you expect. Again, I can say that, but it's one thing to hear it and it's one thing to experience it yourself. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Now that we're at week 6, maybe you've already experienced a little bit of that, especially now that you've done your first playable prototype, is that things tend to take longer than you expect, even when you know that they're going to take longer. So try to factor that in as best as you can. Review the staying sane and the pitfalls if you feel like you need to do that. And the strategies in there for dealing with the challenges that are coming up, and then get to work. So yeah, just crack on with your game. Write pseudocode for all of your features. Plan out as many as you can, and just do as much as you can. And then, of course, at the end of the week, just do the usual and reflect on the type of work that got you into the flow state. So you can click on that if you need a reminder of what the flow state is. But basically, you just want to focus on the work that carries you along. It's like if you imagine yourself in the river, instead of trying to push the river's like carrying you along. It's like, what kind of work puts you in the river so that you just want to create? Like, it's just fun to create. It doesn't feel like it drains you. It's exciting, and you're engaged, and you lose track of time and all of that. So that's the end of week 6. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you in the next video.